Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our September 28th council meeting. And today, be it resolved that the agenda for the regular council meeting of September 28th be adopted. Do we have a mover?
Henry Siemens.
And a seconder?
Marvin.
And any additions to that agenda? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Thank you. Be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting of September the 14th, 2021 be adopted. Mover?
Karina.
Okay, thank you, Don and Karina. Any discussion from those minutes? Hearing none. All in favor? Carried. Karina, if you want to weigh in, you could audibly say yay or nay.
You got it.
Thank you. Correspondence, we have no correspondence today. In regards to finance, be it resolved that the accounts payable, the amount of $11,864,352.24 as approved by the Finance Committee be approved for payment. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Andrew.
Thank you. Any questions in regards to the check register?
Those are a couple of really big checks that make that number.
Yes.
Well, school division.
Yes, it
School
is.
division.
I was privileged to be at Winkler Elementary School, grade 3, and they wanted to know all about council.
Mhm.
And so I told them I just signed a over $10 million check for them so they could go to school. Any other questions? Hearing none. All in favor?
Yay.
Carried. Thank you, Karina. Be it resolved the Fire Committee meeting minutes for September the 15th, 2021 meeting be adopted. Mover?
Michael.
And a seconder?
John.
Any questions regarding those minutes? I guess not related to the minutes, but just want to make a comment, Marvin, in regards to a couple of significant fires that you've attended over the last week. And just again, want to say thank you for your service and that of the fire department to minimize the damage that could have been.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate the fires we've had last.
Agreed.
Well,
Okay, thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Going on to transportation.
Just the fire department report is there as well.
to
Oh yeah, fire department report. Yeah. Thought that was both included in this one. Be it resolved the Winkler Fire Department reports for August 2021 be received for information. Mover?
Michael.
Seconder?
John.
Thank you. Any other questions regarding those reports? Hearing none. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that the Transportation and Utilities Committee meeting minutes for September 22nd meeting be adopted. Mover?
Andrew.
Seconder?
Marvin.
Any questions regarding those minutes?
Not sure how many you read the report there. There's a long, long list of items there for the 14th Street South speed limit. Got some thorough work done by our engineering team here, which was very helpful.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, I commented on it at the meeting, but for public record, just amazing at the amount of quality of work that they do. And it was also good to have the concern sent in with good quality questions to make it work. It wasn't just somebody saying, we need to change this, it's stupid or something like that. It was very well done. So all around, so thanks to our staff.
Okay, thank you very much. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, the next item regards to the Winkler Water Tower. It's been on our agenda a few times, so this is it. This is where it ends. Whereas there are significant concerns regarding public safety, environmental issues, and structural issues with the Winkler Water Tower. And whereas the council approved by resolution on July 13th, 2021, the sole source procurement of the water tower demolition, given the urgent need to address these issues, therefore be it resolved that City of Winkler award this work to Rakowski Cartage and Wrecking for the value of $251,275, including GST, as a sole source contract. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder.
Sadly, Mark.
Yeah, very sad.
The skyline will change forever, absolutely. I just reading over the contract and the quality of individuals that this entails, I was really impressed with the detail, how they described how they're going to remove it. And obviously they've done this kind of thing before. So just very, very impressed with what I read, so.
I'm flabbergasted that you've got cranes tall enough to take that thing down.
Yeah, those
That blew
pictures
me
are
away.
quite something.
Yeah.
All right, any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. And my understanding is the demolition will happen over the next 2 months?
Correct.
Okay. Going on to health and safety, be it resolved that Health and Safety Committee meeting minutes for September the 9th, 2021 meeting be adopted. Mover?
Karina,
Thank you, Karina. Seconder?
I can help.
Marvin, thank you. Any questions regarding the Health and Safety Committee?
How's that going? It's going good?
Hearing none, all in favor?
yeah,
Carried.
sorry, I glitched.
Be it resolved that the MSCW reports and minutes for August 2021 be received for information. Mover?
Done.
Seconder?
Andrew?
Anybody want to comment on that one?
As you can see, the amount of permits are up 500, just over 500 permits over last year. So it was a bit of a slow month, I think, in, was it August? Was it July? And now it's starting to pick up like crazy again. So guys are very busy and it looks very positive for the remainder of the year.
Lots of activities. Okay, all in favor? And that is carried as well. Be it resolved that bylaw number 227121 to update the zoning bylaw be read a first time. Mover?
Henry Simmons?
Seconder?
Done.
And just for clarification, the first reading of this bylaw change is as a first reading, and it would be followed up by other consultations as
Public
well
hearing.
as officially bringing it to the council, I believe, at the end of October.
That's a
Somewhere around
public
there.
hearing, yep.
Would it-
So,
Is it possible to get a copy of this with the notes of changes or no?
Yeah, I think
think-
we had that at
We've seen it at
planning committee. So I think we can do that, yep.
okay, all in favor? And that is carried. Going on to community services, be it resolved that community services committee meeting minutes for September 21st, 2021 be adopted. Mover?
Andrew?
Seconder?
Karina,
Thanks, Karina and Andrew. Any discussion regarding the community services meeting? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that South Central Regional Library Board minutes of September the 16th meeting be received for information. Mover?
Marvin.
Thank you. Seconder?
Michael?
Michael, thank you. Any questions regarding those board meeting minutes?
No questions, but as I mentioned earlier, it's been a really big challenge financially for us being close to that thought.
Okay, thanks, Marvin. Any other comments? Hearing none, all in favor? And that is carried. Whereas the Winkler Community Foundation provides ongoing support to local nonprofit and charitable organizations, and whereas Winkler Community Foundation is hosting their annual Giving Challenge, and I've requested City of Winkler participate in stretching contribution to the amount of $2,000. Therefore be it resolved, City of Winkler contribute $2,000 to the WC Annual Giving Challenge. Mover,
Henry Siemens.
seconder,
Marvin?
and just a note there, obviously with the hundreds of thousands of dollars and now over the course of time, well over millions of dollars that have been contributed back to the community and it continues to give. So it's a worthwhile balancing act here to help them to raise their funds so they can give more. All in favor?
Yep.
And that is carried. All right, we will it resolved this meeting of council recess for the purpose of holding public hearings. Mover,
Andrew?
seconder,
Michael.
thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Okay, Jody, take away the public hearing 1701-21.
Okay, so just a quick note before we start the public hearings for the guests. I'll be introducing each of the public hearings, and after that, Mayor Harder will ask if there's anyone here to address council regarding that hearing. And when you speak, we ask that you would come up to the podium and state your name and address for the record, and then you can speak to the matter. All questions or comments from the public must be directed to the mayor from the podium. And then after that is done, then the public hearing will be closed and council will vote on the motion. So we're starting with this public hearing in regards to variation application 1701-21. Applicants and owners Chris and Charlene Neistater at 381 Willow Drive. The reason for this request is to construct a shed in the backyard, and the zoning bylaw requirements are for 5-foot interior and rear yard setbacks. The variation requested is for a 3.5-foot interior yard setback and a 2-foot rear yard setback. We have distributed the public hearing notices as required by the Act and have not received any objections for this application.
Okay, question for the public. Is anybody here that objects to that application for the variance? Nobody here to object to that one? If there's nobody here to object, then we will be it resolved the public hearing for the variation 1701-21 be closed. Mover?
Marvin?
And a seconder?
Don.
All in favor? And that is carried. Going on then, be it resolved that council approve variation application number 1701-21. Mover?
Henry Siemens.
Seconder?
Don.
Any other comments from council?
So this survey waiver, that's coming up a few times now. Does that need to be checked before before construction takes place or no?
Generally speaking, when we waive it, my understanding is that the applicants have signed a form confirming that they've located the pins.
Okay.
All right, thank you. All in favor? And that's carried, approved.
Okay, next public hearing is for conditional use number 1706-21. This is on behalf of applicant and owner Abe Wall. Location is 105 8th Street. And the request here is in order to allow the construction of a duplex on site. So this is a 2-family dwelling, and that is currently a conditional use development in the single family zone. These notices have also been distributed as required by the Act, and we have not received any formal objections, but I understand that there is a resident here to speak to the application.
Okay. If you're here to speak against the application or for the application, I guess doesn't matter, right?
Right.
Is there anybody here then that wants to speak in regards to this application?
This was from Grace Schellenberg.
Yeah, Grace is here. Were you wanting to speak against this application, Grace? No? Okay. All right. Therefore, be it resolved, this public hearing for conditional use number 1706-21 be closed. Mover?
Michael.
Michael and Marvin? All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that council approve conditional use application number 1706-21. Mover?
Henry Siemens?
Seconder? Any
If I-
further discussion?
If I could just mention two things quickly.
Please.
In our new zoning bylaw that was first reading today, the zoning changes, and this would actually not be a conditional use in what's going to be the R1 zone. These duplexes would be allowed without a conditional use application. Secondly, just to clarify, you have it in your notes, but Mrs. Schellenberg did talk about privacy, and Abe from Do It All Builders is not opposed to building a fence if that's what's requested of him. That would be a choice for you as council to make if you approve the application.
Well, I think what we usually like to see is that the neighbors get along. And if the request is for a fence, then you are okay with it, then I would suggest that it go a long way to make sure. Yes, please.
Yeah, I had a good long afternoon with Grace Schellenberg at the house there today, and she called me and we set up a meeting time there, and she that was a concern for her, was her privacy after knowing that I couldn't keep the shrub there. She wanted something that she requested, and it was my intention to put the fence there anyway, but this just confirmed that I'm willing to do that, and yeah, so we had a good afternoon together, and yeah, we agreed to do that.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Abe. And it's nice when neighbors work together. That's all I want to say. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. So we'll put that as a friendly amendment to the motion then, so that
Great.
it's there.
Yep.
Thank you.
So I just would read, be it resolved, council approve the conditional use application number 1706-21 with the addition of the fence.
On the condition that the builder provide a fence.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay, all right. Okay, so if we could make that, council's okay, we just add that?
I would be okay with that.
Okay. All right. Okay, the next one, oh, sorry, all in favor? And that is carried, yeah, thanks.
And again, great to see the neighbors discuss it and figure it out. That's always the best solution, when two groups can get together, have that discussion and get to a good place. So thank you both for having that conversation.
Yes, thank you.
Next one is a public hearing, subdivision 4463-21-8125. Jody?
Yes. So this is a public hearing that's initiated based on the Planning Act, and that is if a proposed subdivision results in the creation of a new public road, the council must hold a public hearing to receive representations on the proposed subdivision. And so you have the outline of the subdivision, and in this case, it's not actually the creation of a new road, but it's within the definition because there's a widening of the right of way. And so that's what initiates the public hearing for this. And so you've got the application and all the notes, and then as well, the report to council from the planning department with their recommendation that this be approved with conditions according to the development agreement. And the applicants have been made aware of all of this, including any recent changes that they've made have all been emailed to the applicants. And we've, and our understanding is that they're all okay with them.
Okay. Anybody here wishing to speak to that in that regard? None? Therefore be it resolved that public hearing for subdivision 4463, 21-8125 be closed. Mover?
Carmen,
Karina, seconded. Thank you. All in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that council approves subdivision number 4463, 21-8125, subject to rezoning, variation approval, conditional use approval, and a development agreement. Terms and conditions of the development agreement will be in accordance with the recommendation made in the city's report to council. Mover?
Henry Siemens?
Seconder?
Don?
Any additional comments in regards to that? I think the conditions are clear, straightforward, and if our proponent is good with that, then I'm good too.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I'm assuming everybody's on the same page, right? All right. Okay, thank you. And all in favor? And that is carried. Be it resolved that public hearings be adjourned and regular council reconvene. Mover?
Michael.
Seconder?
Karina.
All in favor? Carried. And we don't normally have questions from the media lined up, but it's all good. I think there's only one thing left to do. Be it resolved, this regular meeting of council will be adjourned.
We have any questions from either of the two people here who haven't spoken?
Sorry, were you here to speak?
We were, I guess, interested in that subdivision. We're following it closely, what's gonna happen there. We realized it was just the road,
Okay,
happening today,
right.
but, we're actually very interested in the Circle K Drive situation and all that, so we're just kind of,
Okay.
here
Okay.
it is.
So Jody, you could probably fill them in or
Yeah, I think you're understanding it like that it was just a widening of the right of way, but you're just interested in that development, and so you're here to hear what was happening.
okay. Is there anything that you could fill her in regards to that or no?
If you have specific questions.
I guess.
If you don't mind,
Yeah.
do you mind going to the microphone?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That'd be great. Thanks.
Thank
And
you.
just your name too for the record.
I'm Benita, who is representing Conditional Industries here.
The other end.
We are interested in the Circle K Drive development, and I'm not sure if this is the time and place to mention it. We're just becoming aware of the fact that we may be required to pay a portion of that street, or half of the cost of frontage past our property there. And I guess we just have a little bit of questions on that. Why is it not approached? We feel it will be a very busy road, especially if residential development would happen on what's currently the Craigers land. And so we feel like it could be an unnecessary financial burden for Conditional Industries if it becomes a fairly used street there. So that's just all that we're really trying to.
Okay. Have you ever spoken to Scott Taves, our engineer? Because he might be able to fill you in on
Yeah,
that.
either Stephanie Jantz
Or
or,
Stephanie.
I haven't talked with Stephanie.
okay. Okay.
So I
Okay.
need to
Yeah.
realize it.
Okay.
You want to know
Right.
about it.
Okay. I would encourage you to keep in touch with Stephanie or Scott. And as it develops, certainly it's well worthwhile following up. Make sure that you stay on top of it. And okay, appreciate it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming,
Sorry, I
guys.
didn't want to cut you off. I didn't realize there was a different piece there that you're, okay. All right. Then be it resolved, this regular meeting of council be adjourned. I guess we did that already. Okay.